How's everybody doing? We are live. We are Alan Squared. We are back. This is myself, Alan Roberts, Dr. Alan Chen. How you been, buddy?
It's good to be back. It's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a little bit. You've been busy. I've been busy.
Yeah.
We both got big projects going on. But I thought it would be neat for us to come talk about a few things that are happening health-wise with the nation. You know, I think I find it pretty
there's
wild.
a lot.
there is an absolute lot.
Yeah.
Just before we get started, how do you think RFK is doing?
All right. So if I give him a letter grade, barely passing. So I'll give him a D+.
Yeah.
That's about right. Yeah.
I think you know, if we want to stick with the school analogy, while I do like RFK, everybody please make no mistake about it. What's happening right now is, like, it appears to be he is trying to do the things to appease the people, right? But nothing's actually changing. That's the thing. Like, we're going to talk about something that changed just now, and if they are changing, it's going to be like that. It's going to be how this is changing. The only changes I see that are happening are benefiting the healthcare industrial complex still.
Yeah,
and Pfizer.
Yeah, that's where I'm starting to now lose him, because this whole shtick was trying to break free from that whole machine. At least that's what we thought it was. And we've seen him at the press conferences with Pfizer executives, and then supporting these initiatives. And on the surface level, it's like, oh yay, medicines are cheaper now, but that doesn't necessarily solve the overall health problem, in that we want to prescribe them less often in general.
Right. I think that's the thing, dude. Like, they're not even attempting to have people be healthier. Like, don't get me wrong. We beefed about the military guys being fat. It's been that way for decades. We talked about the school kids, and I haven't seen the school lunch program change at all, by the way. Haven't seen it fucking change at all. And Trump's just signed a $70 billion deal with Pfizer. Answer me this, man. Why the fuck do we pay these people to help them develop shit, so then they charge us for it? Like, how is that even a thing?
Yeah, that's dependent. The answer is dependent on how optimistic you are about the government ever coming to save you. And I am at an all-time low on that front. And here's the thing, like, the politicians at the end of the day will do what they want to do to benefit themselves first. It's very rare to find somebody that will actually listen to the people and do the things that are the best for them if it doesn't benefit them first. So that's sort of, we're all selfish human beings as a populace. And if you go through, like, psychology, like, yeah, we all gun to head for the most part, we would focus on how it benefits us first before the individual. And you can name plenty of examples of that, but I think that's sort of where we're at. And there could also be a lot of other external forces that are sort of forcing his hand too. That's the other thing that I was concerned about from the beginning, is all these things are fine and dandy, but they're also going against the status quo. And there could be a lot of external forces. You pick the one that you think fits in this scenario, depending on
it's the Jews or the whatever. Like, of course, like, that's what people automatically say. So.
Yeah, like the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, all them guys. Yeah, I mean, but there's a whole other side of the political spectrum that we live in the United States that thinks it's somebody else. But be that as it may, there is something that's going on that we're not seeing, and that's something that we got to think about.
Absolutely. I mean, there's definitely something going on. I would suggest that it's still money. It's going on. Like, I would suggest that it's still money. Like, in the last couple like weeks, I don't think people have realized how much the American people have been committed to enriching the healthcare industrial complex. The head story that you and I were going to talk about is how, and I've said this before. Me and you have had this conversation before. That's why when I saw the article, I immediately thought about it. That if we started using waist circumference in the determination of who was considered obese or not in America, it would radically increase the number of people that would be captured under the obesity umbrella. And I'm talking radically. Like, I would argue that 70% of the population could be classified as obese if you throw waist circumference in there. Yeah,
so I can confirm you called it.
Yeah, I'm dude. for healthcare, I'm the fucking Alex Jones of healthcare. I win the fucking I told you so award, and I don't give a shit. Like people can always tell me, like I had somebody say earlier on my live that I said dangerous misinformation about public health. Name it. Name any of it. Name one time I've been wrong about public health, and I mean fucking name it. Show me where I said it, and then and if I was wrong, I will fucking say so. But I haven't been at all. I've been ahead of the curve from even the fucking PhDs. You know.
Mm-hmm. To give you some credit, though, you look a lot nicer than Alex Jones.
Thank you.
That's not saying much, by the way. Because Alex Jones is kind of a ogre looking, but anyway.
But the thing that's going to happen here is they've now declared obesity a disease, right? A disease that can be covered by pharma. Shocking, right?
Oh my god!
So now they just classify, X many more people. Like this could classify another like 100 million people as obese.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100 million people get classified as being able to be put on Ozempic.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's fucking insanity, bro.
Yeah. So I guess according to this article, the original way that they were doing it was solely on BMI. Is that
right?
I'm understanding this. Okay. Yeah, because
which by the way, well, BMI on a population level, especially when it comes to like public health statistics, get out of here. I live out in the woods, so there's a fly flying around. But BMI is scary predictive on a population level.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a just a numerical statistic, right? Mm-hmm. And then you gather the information based off it. And like when people say BMI is worse shit, like what the fuck are you looking at? Because like it directly correlates like high BMI Alzheimer's, high BMI cancer, high BMI diabetes, high BMI that like it directly correlates. There's a 1-to-1 correlation almost with mm-hmm. it, Mm-hmm. Except and the only time it becomes more than 1-to-1 is it's like when it's 1-to-2, like you're obese, like super obese and 70, it causes even higher chronic illness, Mm-hmm. And I just think people count it out. But now, from what I understand, they're going to add waist to hip ratio or waist to hip ratio and waist circumference.
I'm wondering, they said that there's multiple factors on that list. Do we have the list of all the ones that they're considering?
It's BMI, waist circumference, and waist to hip ratio. And here's how they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a high BMI
mm-hmm.
and you have one of the other two things, you are going to be classified as obese, right?
Yeah.
Or if you don't have a high BMI, but you have the two other things, if you have a high waist circumference and if you have a high waist to hip ratio, because that means you're pear shaped. That means you have central obesity. Yeah. So here's the thing: the fucked up thing is, dude, I agree with this, right? Mm-hmm. Like I agree with the classification. I just don't agree with calling obesity a disease that we should, in fact, medicate at all. Mm-hmm. It's a lifestyle-driven condition.
Yeah,
it's a lifestyle-driven condition, and we can try to drug it away all we want, but eventually you're going to get killed by the drugs. It is the reality.
It's probably influenced by the recent GLP-1s too. Yeah, for 100%. And then it's probably going to affect insurance claims and all that. And actually, here's my tinfoil hat prediction: is that it's going to make health insurance even more expensive.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah.
But I'm actually interested to hear your opinion on this. So, what do you think about body fat percentage? As a measure of obesity?
body fat percentage is just it should come into factor, I believe. But that's where genetics enters in even more, if you ask me, right? Like because if you take like Eskimos have a much higher natural body fat percentage than Caucasian, right?
Yeah.
And it's environmental, it's evolutionary, right? Same thing. Most people that live by the equator or their heritage by the equator have a much lower body fat percentage. So that's kind of iffy for me. I think we can all agree that a male with a 30% body fat range is unhealthy. And for those of you that don't know, that's pretty puffy, to be honest. Yeah. And for women, I believe the healthy range is 20 to 30, and that's because they have so many other different biological mechanisms. Like that's why you can be a trans woman, but you can't be born a man and be a woman. Like that's just not. It's just not. You cannot rewire the same system like that way. It just does not work, right?
At least not simply hormones, because they think it's hormones. That's it. We're done.
Well, there's and you would never, the person would never be able to survive the surgical alterations that would be needed if it was truly done. Like, and it's not a true, it's just an appearance. Like the penis doesn't really actually work, and the vagina is still just like a flesh pocket. So I mean, and I'm just being honest, you know, like. But
did I tell you the story? I saw one of those surgeries.
I don't want to know.
Female.
Why the fuck do you think I would want to know? I don't want to know. I don't want to know what that looks like.
It's not.
I don't. No. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it. No.
It's awful. Awful. It's awful.
Yeah. No.
Let's get back to obesity. This is why I'm scarred for life. That's unfortunately, this is one of the reasons why.
Well, then you consider the Q angle of the hip is different by 17. It's 17 degrees. You know, like, I mean, that is a completely restructuring of the femur and how it would align. It would never hold together. Like so many things, you know. But this is they're honestly insulting. It's horrific. It is horrific. And if you're a trans man, there should be nothing wrong with being a trans man. Like, look at Bucky. Bucky's a trans man, and it's no big deal, right? Anyway, but back to this stuff. This is just another way to classify a bunch of people for medications. Like, and it also, and you tell me if I'm wrong with this, even if they don't go on GLP-1s, being marked as obese does help trigger blood pressure medication immediately. It does help trigger does help trigger statins. Like, all these people will almost immediately be put on blood pressure and statin medications, even if they're like, they could have white coat syndrome, which means they get a little bit excited when they go into the doctor's office, and their blood pressure could normally be normal, and then all of a sudden they take it to the doctor's office, it's 130 over 85, and they put them on blood pressure medications when it's normally 117 over 75. You know? Yeah.
There was I have to confirm this, so don't quote me in this just yet, but they have continually lowered the threshold for normal blood pressure.
Yeah,
which wouldn't surprise. It wouldn't surprise me if they did that, honestly. Because
when I was younger, it was 130 over 90. When I was younger, it was 130 over 90.
It was okay.
Right? And now it's 120 over 80. Right.
And now,
every time. I believe before 130 over 90, it was like something like 145 over 90 or 95 or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
And every time they lower it, they get another 20 million customers for blood pressure medication. You know, same thing with cholesterol. Every time they lower the cholesterol barrier, which, by the way, every time they lower the cholesterol barrier, it makes the population clearly less healthy. Like, you can go, you can look at when they determine these things, like the years, and then you can see like they don't want people to have, you know, cardiovascular disease, so they put a bunch of people on statins, and then they lower the blood pressure, the free cholesterol thing from 350 down to 200, and a bunch of people automatically get put on it, and then you can see 10 years later there's more heart disease than there ever was. You know, like this is all. What's wild to me is like it's just all factual, and nobody wants to look at it. You know, it's just kind of mind numbing. But this is the same thing, dude. This reminds me of that. This is going to add a trillion to $2 trillion in cost onto our shared healthcare expenditure. Like, next year, expect a $7 trillion total shared healthcare expenditure. Because we're 5.3. Yeah, 5.3 to 5.8 this year is what the prediction was. So expect somewhere around 7 trillion next year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not untrue. We are 70% obese. I've said it for fucking years. It was 42 by BMI. It was 42.5% in 2018. That's the last time they took that statistic, by the way. Right. So just natural progression before the pandemic even hits, we're tipping at 46, 47. Right. Pandemic hits. How many millions of people gain 35 pounds, putting them into a different category? You know, so now you're easily at 55, 60 just by BMI, right? That doesn't include waist to height ratio and shit like that. It's probably 70 to 75% that are obese by waist to height ratio and BMI together.
Yeah. Here's a fascinating question. So they're labeling obesity as a disease officially. Right. So now that it's called unhealthy by a big governing board, right? Yeah. Do you think that will affect the fat acceptance movement? Because they keep saying, one of their big mantras is that they keep saying, you know, oh, fat is healthy, you know, like all this crap. Like, it's just now it's a bunch of big organizations are saying, oh, it's a disease now. It's not healthy. Disease is opposite of healthy. Do you think it's going to affect them at all? Like, do they think that? So
this could go multiple ways, right? And I actually made a video about this when the pandemic first popped out. I was like, what are you motherfuckers going to do if they mandate health? And Because they could easily mandate health, and they wouldn't have to mandate it by you got to go do pull-ups. They would mandate it by if you have a BMI of over 40, we're not going to pay for. You're not eligible for insurance. Like that's a mandate, motherfucker. I often say, and you know how I am, dude. I'm kind of rude, but I can say that I really mean this. Like if people aren't going to take responsibility for their own health, like you're going to end up being like over 50 BMI. We should not support you in any way. You should not be eligible for any type of fucking government assistance of any kind. If you have a 50 BMI, you have had plenty of money. You've had plenty of leisure. You've had plenty of downtime. Maybe it's time for you to work your fucking ass off in multiple ways. And you should not be eligible for insurance. You should not be eligible for any taxpayer benefits of any fucking kind. You've done this to yourself. You are purposely burdening the fucking country. You're purposely burdening it.
So I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. So what about an alcoholic?
I fucking same thing, bro.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
we're at that stage, man. People do not realize where we are at right now. Mm-hmm. It is time. It is personal responsibility time, in a big fucking way. People are missing. You eat too much, drink too much, smoke too much. It should be on you 100% of the fucking time. And the first thing people are going to say, well, what about your tattoos? Let me tell you something. If my tattoos would cause me skin cancer, which is a possibility, you know what I mean? Then I will pay for that shit by myself. And you got to be. I mean, anybody that thinks I'm going to the doctor for any kind of fucking treatment, if I get fucking cancer for a chronic illness, if I break my arm, I'm there tomorrow. I'm giving you a call. But if I have fucking cancer, it's either going to take me or I'm going to take it. I'm not going to eat another fucking carbohydrate ever. I'm going to take ivermectin as much as I fucking can, because even if it doesn't cure the cancer, it'll keep me fucking healthy. I'm going to take 10,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. I'm going to take 10,800 FUs of nattokinase a day. I'm going to take berberine out the fucking ass every single day to keep my blood sugar levels fucking stable and get me as insulin sensitive as possible, because most cancer has been shown to be a result of hyperinsulinemia. Mm-hmm. Like I am going to be as healthy as I fucking can, and if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. But I am not going to be one of those fucking people that becomes because you're a slave. Like once they got you, you're a fucking slave. You know, and I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, chemotherapy is not a way to go, especially
chemotherapy is poisoning you.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fucking crazy. It's all of it that people do. Is 5,000 IUs of vitamin D safe for frequent use? 50,000 IUs of vitamin D is safe for frequent use. Mm-hmm. I mean, the 5,000 is easily. As a matter of fact, 5,000 should be seen as the optimal range. The RDAs from the USDA are wrong. Fucking huge shock. The RDA from the USDA for vitamin D is 600 IUs a day. That is clinically and literally vitamin D deficient at that point. Like you are 600 IUs of vitamin D a day. You are going to catch a cold every 2 fucking minutes, and you are going to have a very poor immune system. Your skin's going to be shitty. Your sleep will probably be shitty. Your stress response to spot is shitty. All the clinical data points to between 4,000 and 5,000 IUs a day is what most people should take in. If you are fat, it should be way fucking more, because it's fat soluble and it doesn't absorb it the same way, you know?
Yeah. I mean, on average, we are much less exposed to sunlight on average, because we stay inside a lot. So, I mean, you can even bump that up even higher for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So it's one of those things where people just need to realize they want you fat, sick, and weak. And if they can classify you fat, sick, and weak and put you on a drug, you are dependent upon them. Yeah. Like, look at these people. Dude, have you seen some of these people that are talking about, like, I'll die before I go off my GLP-1? Like, they try to wean off of it, and they're addicted to this shit already. And they're not addicted. I don't think it has, like, an addiction thing that actually hits, but they're addicted to the never being hungry type thing. And I get it, because I'm not ever hungry right now, and coming from a place when I used to binge eat every day to not ever being hungry, I get it. It does not feel good when it comes back. But they're mentally addicted to this shit already. They are mentally fucked up already. You know?
There's a reward component. No, there's a reward component too. That's keeping them dopamine driven. You know, so it makes sense. Yep. Yeah,
exactly. But this could add, like I said, this could push us up to a $7 trillion. Like it's the thing that people need to be looking at, because that it has increased more dollar figure and percentage wise than anything else. But notice how it doesn't hit the political table. Notice how we don't have people really debating about the actual cost of it. They're trying to find ways to, we're going to make drug prices lower for the people. They're just going to force insurance companies to absorb more of it,
Yeah.
Like the pharmaceutical companies are not going to fucking lower the prices, people. They're going to get their money. They have
Somehow.
layers of money. Yeah, they have layers of money coming to them already. You know.
Yeah. It may not be from the
How
drug
about-
prices, but it could be from other ways too. Like they have a lot of creative ways to do all sorts of shit to make money.
Oh yeah,
Trust me.
and there's no fiduciary value in curing you. They don't want you cured. You know, frankly, if you sit on a board of directors, you should want sick people of a hospital. Like if somebody comes to your office and says, "Hey, I have a cure for cancer," that hospital, in the long run, is your actual responsibility. It is your fiduciary duty to say, "Don't ever release that shit." Like if you think about it, and everybody's like, "Well, what about morals?" The allopathic healthcare industry has almost no fucking morals. The only morals it has are by doctors like Alan over here, who try to learn everything they can about the human body and instead of just being as arrogant as fucking possible and believing the science, you know?
Yeah, and it shows like how, for you guys as patients, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Like kind of how elitist some of the doctors can be. Now, and there's plenty of good doctors. Trust me, there are plenty of good ones, but like there are some that are just very elitist in the sense of, they look down on you if you just happen to skip your flu vaccine or you refuse it, or you don't follow all the guidelines because you read something on or you watched something on Joe Rogan, for example. Like those kind of things. Like it's sort of analogous to how in other parts of society too, not just health. Like it's the same way, where a bunch of people are looking down on another population, and then to the point where they're either they feel inferior or they feel threatened by those people. So there's a bunch of reactions to that. The second part, which would be being threatened by these people, like the reaction, the very over exaggerated reaction would be, retaliating in a way that's way out of proportion to what the initial action was. Yeah. Which Charlie Kirk, but yeah. So
well,
it's dangerous.
You can absolutely say his name on this show. I mean, you know how I am. I mean, like,
no. I'm just saying like that's a prime example of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we need to talk about that as public health also too. Like, don't get me wrong. For the people that didn't come here to have it get super political, first of all, we're talking about health, so it has to be political. I hate to even say that, but when you talk about the healthcare industry, it has to be political. It just sucks, and both sides suck. By the way, it doesn't. Right wing, left wing. Yeah, right wing, left wing. Same bird, same flight. Yeah. They're going in the same fucking direction. Just because the wings flap interdependently.
Yeah.
But like Charlie Kirk is what happened to him is a symptom. What happened to him and what happened after is absolutely a symptom of society right now. Right. Mm-hmm. First of all, this guy says words that you can't stand, so you got to kill him. Like, I'm sorry, but I grew up in a time where we encouraged people to say shit. Now don't get me wrong. I also grew up in a time where if somebody said shit in front of your face, that they might get slapped. But we need to have conversation and debate. And what happened after? And don't get me wrong, Charlie Kirk dying was absolutely horrible. Like, I mean, I've been exposed to more of his work since he died, since when he was alive. And he said some very amazing prophetic things, like truly a great thinker,
Oh yeah.
And it's a shame he's gone, and especially because he got murdered in front of his wife and kid, just disgusting. Ugh. But what happened after, where people celebrated it, to me, that is more telling, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I really believe this is also true, where that was not nearly as many people as we thought it was, and the people liking the comments were more bots than anything, because like 51% of traffic is bots now, But people openly celebrating it, like real people, like that means we're already at war. Like, if people don't understand it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's people want you dead for your words. They don't give a fuck what you say after that, right? Like if they'll celebrate somebody that thinks like you, then I always say this: like, Charlie Kirk put shit in not a lot more politely than I did. I wonder what they fucking say about me, right? And I'm not even like right wing. I believe they're both fucking up, and I've said that forever. Even voting for Trump, I've said he's just a fucking backstop. We need to do the work, and we're not doing the work, right?
The lesser of two evils.
But yeah, I mean, they've got everybody so pinned, like defending Trump and everybody hating Trump. Like, do you guys not realize that division is their power? Right? Like it robs us of our power as people because it doesn't matter what your vote is or like who you love, your heart, like or like the color or the hue of your skin. It doesn't matter any of those things, right? Like we're all we are the people, and no matter what any of those things, like first of all, like as a message, I know this is weird because this is like we don't want to like we're talking about health, but as a message, if we want to actually stay a country, you guys got to give all this shit up. Like, dear right wing people that hate gay people, you guys got to fucking shut the fuck up, or we're all going to be slaves. Like, I mean, for real. And dear leftists, that like people that are on the left that can't possibly stand to be in the same room as a Trump voter, you're help driving us towards slavery just as much. Like, I think everybody should start minding their own motherfucking business. Love who you love under the same sky. You don't have to fucking participate. The dick sucking and pussy licking is optional, people. You know, like it is not like
public. Yeah.
It's not that you saw a gay person like, oh shit, now I got to suck that dick. Like, no, like it's it's optional, right? Like, and for the people that don't like, what Trump is, you got to understand why a lot of people voted for him. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking brainwashed lemmings that will just vote for anybody that the right tells them to, and don't act like it's not the same thing as the left. You dumb fucks out there. But like, the left is like the hate anybody that voted for Trump. Like, to literally like call everybody the worst, nastiest thing you can think of. You guys are going to have to give that up. And at some point in time, you're probably going to have to apologize for celebrating the death of somebody else, because that's shitty fucking work. I'll never think the same about any people that would do that ever again, ever. And I'm known for not being a nice person. Like, I mean, and I think that that's horrific what they did, But everybody got as many people as we can have got to put that shit the fuck down, because we've got to break free of this two wing system, because all they're doing is moving us closer and closer towards authoritarianism. Don't get me wrong. I think like the streets being cleaned up, bro. I'm happy the streets are being cleaned up in a lot of these cities, but like by almost military force, that just sets a precedence. It's a normalization of that. What do fucking people think that the left is going to do with this when they get back in office, when they steal another election? They're going to militarize any fucking where they can and come take guns. You dumb fucks. Like this is the problem. Like, we are setting precedent at an unprecedented rate. Like we set precedent with COVID that it still allows them to do all sorts of crazy shit. So that's why people like, get your fucking shit together. Be healthy. You shouldn't even want to be classified as obese. Remember when that was like a shameful fucking thing? That's what we need to get back to, right? Sorry, I had to go.
No, I had to let you cook. But anyway, the whole all the reactions to Charlie Kirk. I mean, there was one somewhat silver lining where a lot of those people that publicly said, "Oh, we're celebrating it."
That's water, by the way. I'm drinking water out of an old Jim Beam bottle, so I wanted to let everybody know it was water.
Sure. Anyway,
it's water.
They were those who were celebrating it were canceled, and then they were like crying about it as if they're a victim. And I'm like, well, you did that to us for the last like 10 to 15 years. Like, it's time to get a little bit of the taste of your medicine finally. So there's a little bit of silver lining, but spoiler alert to what I'm going to talk about on my show next is social media definitely exacerbated a lot of this. And I say that because it's so easy for me to type a comment that's like really, really rude or very negative or whatnot, and then close my laptop and then move on with my life. If you wanted to say something like that to a person, you had to do it in front of their faces, and you had to risk getting punched in the face if they didn't like what you're saying. So there was a lot less of this, these keyboard warrior nonsense back then when I was growing up. And the worst thing that I was called back then was I was a fat kid growing up. So shocking. The worst I was called was fat, but actually like that probably helped me to kind of get myself back to not being fat, and like so that the shaming will stop. And that was the only way to do it at that time. Not so much like say, "Oh, fat is beautiful," like you're a bigot or racist because you're fat's beautiful, blah 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 blah, or health at every size, all this other whatever shit they pull out. You don't hide under the veil of a screen. And yeah, I mean, being obese in public, you're exposing yourself, just by showing off your resume in that regard in terms of your physicality in general. That became much more of a thing when we were all actually like in person and not,
Right.
In front of cameras or cell phones or whatnot. So that sort of kind of exacerbated everything. And now we're kind of in this moment where like our main form of communication is social media. And it's like, with the 280 character phrases on Twitter and Instagram and all these other things that are quite superficial, and also like it hides a lot of information, and also it lies a lot. So I mean, that's sort of all the lies that are being told on social media, and all the crap that gets thrown and it gets flung at the walls. I mean, this is sort of now leaking over to just society in general. Yeah, it's definitely not helping the situation for sure. And it makes it a lot harder to really get back to where we need to be, because we're so distracted all the time too.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I mean, that's why one of my main ways to sort of have better health freedom is to actually like touch grass and like talk to people, and make the community around you in your near proximity a lot better. It helps in so many ways, because we are social beings, we're social creatures. We thrive on it. It's not all this stuff that even me talking to you in front of a screen, it doesn't really you don't have the same kind of hormones in that going through your body than if we were in person and we were able to like physically touch each other. Like it's different. We learned that in COVID. That was a huge thing in COVID, because we couldn't see our grandparents in nursing homes, and that really messed up their the end. I mean, it's sad. Like a lot of them died alone. Think about that for a second. Yeah, it's just like because of these silly rules, and I'm just like, I went on my own rant, but like it's just kind of where we are. And again, it's going to come down to individual accountability, and then building from there. Set the example for the people around you, and then hopefully that kind of positivity, that kind of accountability will spread, just as the negativity has spread. But it's negativity is very infectious, unfortunately. So it's kind of tough thing to swallow.
Well, it's also complete narrative control. Like, I remember in 2019, I remember telling people like, okay, like a huge part of the problem is they can silence dissenting opinions. Like, shit. I mean, these people are upset at getting canceled for like celebrating a dude's murder. Like, try getting canceled for saying vitamin D is good for you, or saying like don't panic. Like, because I literally would that's one of the reasons why I got fucking canceled. It's like, everybody calm the fuck down. Like, and people went fucking nuts on me. Like, that's also like, there was no report. Like, you couldn't take to Twitter. You could try to post something, they'd kick it off. Same thing with Facebook. Same thing with Meta. And unless it was your group of friends, like, nobody gave a fuck, right? And especially when like a lot of people lead public lives now, that's not a possibility. You got to fucking talk, right? Well, under the same thing, like, they have narrative control again. People just don't realize it. 51% of bots, or 51% of online traffic is bots. So most of these arguments that are being had, especially for the really ridiculous shit, like the really like everybody needs to. It's in some places it is a crime to misgender somebody. Like, where do you think that the support for that shit happened? It's not the fucking 10 lunatic fringe fucking people that show up that fucking always look like they are 400 pounds and have a big fucking bull ass nose ring, hair 3 colors, and they have a shirt that says they them on it. Like, that's we have enabled. Like, think about how mentally ill some of this shit is that is popular right now. Think about there is, of course, the mental illness when it comes to transgender, and that seems to be spreading. I don't even. And what's wild to me is it's known to be a mental illness. If you point that out, It's like this big fucking thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
a mental illness. It's gender dysphoria. If you really have it, it's gender dysphoria. If you're just some fucking pig ass man trying to get into a woman's restroom so you can fucking jack off in there, you're just a fucking fucking animal.
Or or a sex offender. Yeah. Actually, on that sidebar, I have to finish up my research, but in the DSM, that's the psychiatric manual. They've slowly changed the terminology of gender dysphoria. So it's actually really, really interesting, like how language really plays a role in everything, including medicine, especially like how we name things is actually very fascinating. It didn't used to be called gender dysphoria. I don't have the exact term that what they used to use, but they called it more of a disorder. So which sounds better, dysphoria or disorder? You know, like these types of little games that they play that are so subtle that we sort of go under our nose a little bit. Like it's something to pay attention to. Like language matters a lot.
Oh, and absolutely. It's how they when they started talking about they shifted from deaths to cases during COVID, right? And you know it matters. Like it's a huge different thing. And then we never talked about the difference between like what a case was, a case for an 80-year-old or a case for a 20-year-old. So, and that was just all squashed out. But so many things like that. They are like, think about the word democracy. We're going to lose our democracy. How many times do you guys hear a fucking a politician say that? Bernie Sanders says that every damn day. I think so does Hillary Clinton. Newsflash: we don't have a fucking democracy to begin with. We are a constitutional republic. You dumb fucks. Yeah. And that's why it doesn't matter if 99% of people vote for me not to be able to carry my firearms. I have a right to, because my rights come before the fucking majority. You know, like it's this weird thing that they'll change like the name, like they'll change how things are represented. Like notice how it's all vaccines work now. All vaccines are safe. All vaccines work. Like they keep changing it. You know. Like, and technically, these aren't even vaccines we're talking about, the mRNA ones, by the way.
Right. Yeah, whenever you use this is kind of, if you're taking tests out there, it's a little bit of a tip as well. Whenever you use an extreme like all or none, it's probably not true.
Yeah.
We've known that for years now, where like things that we thought were gospel ended up like there was an exception to the rule or not being true at all. Like, for example, doctors used to smoke. That was a thing. And now we're like...
Doctors used to recommend smoking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And now we're like all anti-smoking. Well, smoking causes lung cancer, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, yeah, that was a dogma that was persistent for quite some time. And now it's no longer true. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It definitely... perks up my antennas when I hear those kinds of extreme statements, like all vaccines work or whatever they want to throw out there. And it's not science either, by the way. Like science is based more upon hypotheses and drawing conclusions from certain fact, like how you compare controls and variables. They're usually like you can't. If you did the science properly, you can't have an extreme statement like that. Really,
right? Exactly. So because it's all possibilities, right? It's all like just random what could happen, So, and people, that's why when people say, "Well, causation doesn't mean correlation," or "correlation doesn't mean causation." So, by the way, that means you just erased 90% of medical science.
Yeah. Oh man, I did. There's another article I came across, and I forgot what it was about. I have to find it. It's in my I have a laundry list of stuff that I still need to talk about. So like, it's just I need the time to do it. But there was an article. It was the article that they used for the basis of the AHA saying that fasting doesn't work.
Right.
Okay. And I read the article. It was not even an article. It was like a poster. And there was like no data in it, and it was just like a bunch of like words slatted on a poster with a couple of pictures, fancy pictures, and then they just like, I think actually they did a survey, which is like one of the worst forms of evidence. And this is the kind of shit that they use for making nationwide guidelines. So like take take that with a grain of salt. Like this is like the worst science ever, and now they're using it somehow to push whatever they want to push. It's just ridiculous. Like and it's like I can train a fourth grader to write a better poster than that. Like it was so bad. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately like most people won't will dig that deep to see like, oh, wait a minute, why are they saying this? Because it takes a lot of effort, obviously, because I'm still haven't done the video yet because it's a lot of work. But yeah, it happens way more than you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just weird thing that people don't seem to grasp. It's the same thing like all drugs, by the way, almost all drugs. If you realize that a third of the drugs put out by the FDA eventually get a black box warning for them after they approve. And by the way, a black box warning means they know it causes cancer or something like that.
Yeah, something really bad. Yeah,
and there's those sorts of things. Like all of pharmacy, like almost very very little of pharmaceutical science has causation proved. Like they don't even know what the fuck metformin does, to tell you the truth. Like they don't really know how that shit fucking works. They know it has something to do with ADMK. My ADHD is glitching. They know it has something to do with uptake.
Yes. I believe does it improve insulin sensitivity?
Yes. It improves insulin sensitivity. It also, I mean, it's anti-inflammatory, stuff like that.
Yes.
Right. But it's also got massive side effects. Produces like 20% like severe muscle pain in people that take it. But berberine is just this fucking natural supplement that does the same fucking thing,
Just can't make
but
money
it's
off
demonized. Yeah, but you can't make money off it, and that's why people need to recognize. They don't know how half this shit fucking works. They really don't. They know almost nothing about how the brain works.
Yeah, there are plenty of drugs out there that were originally researched for a purpose. But then they found a side effect, and then they used that side effect as the new purpose. I think that's how it's the one that makes your dick hard. What's the name? Somebody in the comments help me.
Viagra.
Viagra. Yes. I don't know why I blanked on that. Clearly, I don't use it very much. But anyway. Yeah, the Viagras of the world, I think they're originally for hypertension, but then they
5 milligrams of Cialis is actually a treatment for cardiovascular disease.
Yeah. So, but they found, it happens to make your dick hard. Okay, well, let's market it that way. Like, and it just, okay, fantastic.
So they basically put a bunch of people on heart medication.
Yeah.
Like fucking, that's wild. And so, all to give them a boner.
Yeah. You'll find that. Sorry, you'll find that a lot of medications. I mean, the ones that are used the most frequently, yes, like you'll get very few side effects, but nothing like if you mess with a certain physiological process in a very artificial way, you're bound to mess something else up. You're bound to tip the balance somewhere else. That's kind of a commonality amongst all. I don't want to use an extreme, but almost all drugs, where you have this one thing that's supposed to be used for, let's say it's just lower blood pressure, for example, but then there's all these other downstream effects because of the mechanism of action. There's all sorts of, then that's where you get the side effects from. It's like it tips the scales on other things. Ergo, if you have some really bad side effects from the first drug, then you might be coaxed into taking a second drug, and then a third drug, and then a fourth drug, because your whole balance is all fucked up. And this is how people get on like 10 plus meds, because of this cycle that keeps continuing over and over and over again. Yeah, it's that's pharma for you.
What was the most medications you saw somebody on?
Oh my gosh. I can't give you a number right off the top of my head, but I can tell you what the patient was like. It was a really bad psych patient.
They're normally on a shit ton.
Oh my god! Like it's kind of I'm going to get into psychiatry here. That industry is like if you really want to know the really fucked up nature of drugs, look at psychiatry, because it's basically a never-ending game of tweaking you're titrating all your meds. It's just that's really what it is. It's just like, okay, well, maybe we'll lower this one, or maybe or raise this one, or maybe put you on this one, and this looks promising, and it just keeps going and going and going. And these drugs are not exactly safe either. They have a lot of dependency issues. They screw with your metabolism.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to get off them because you get some really nasty withdrawal effects. Like,
we'll talk about an entire profession that has no is correlation doesn't mean causation. Like, it's all opinion.
Yeah.
Because even the science should be looking at a certain degree of scrutiny, right? Mm-hmm. Because one, the more mental health care we seem to get, the more mentally unhealthy we seem to be. But two, they can't prove shit. It's all based on opinions. There's no they have to survey people. They have to make observations themselves. Like, why observe this person twitching? That means that they did this, or it could mean that they just have a fucking twitch, or it could mean that it's a completely different response.
Depression. Depression is a huge one. Like, very common.
Yeah.
The solution now is to give. I think the first line is an SSRI, maybe for most people. Why not actually figure out why the patient is depressed? Like, we have a lot to be depressed about right now in this world. Oh. The inflation sucks. People are losing their jobs. Everything's getting more expensive. Relationships are going to shit. There's a gazillion things that we can think about, like that could be possibly the case. But no, let's just give the patient an SSRI. Okay, and thank you, and see you next week. That kind of shit. Like, it's just like, when did we get to that point? Yeah.
We're talking about a profession that literally has ignored the recent data that show that there's no SSRIs don't really help people with mild or even medium depression. Right. It's just they just run the side effects of possible suicidal ideation and fucking violence, Yeah. And it's all a guessing game. That, and the wild thing is, like, a lot of psychiatric meds get prescribed by general practitioners. They don't even care to fucking fake it. Like you could prescribe it. I don't want to. You're not qualified to prescribe that shit.
Oh, hell no! I don't even want to try. I don't even want to try. I don't even want to try.
But that's what I mean. But you are you legally could prescribe somebody an SSRI.
Yeah.
But you should not be able to, because you do not have the fucking training to go along with it. It's wild to me. Like, it's stuff like that where, how do you even judge that shit? It just goes to show they don't care. It's about getting as many people on the drugs as possible. That's the goal. Get them on the drugs. There's a reason for that. It's called control. And they can control you when you're on the drugs.
Get them through the assembly line that is, the healthcare system. I mean, get these
exactly
factory. Yeah. Fix you till you're like almost fixed, and then you're not completely fixed, and then send you on your way. Yeah, and then you eventually expire again. So
Yep. So listen, man, it was we got to be doing this much more often again now that I'm finished up with my project and stuff like that, and I think you're back in the States after some decent travel.
Yeah,
but where can everybody find you? But I got to run because I got another thing I got to talk about that guy.
Oh, no worries. I'm on YouTube, guys, at Your Health Unplugged. Hence this little thing. I actually will be talking more about social media and its effects on young men and children, which is like the two populations that are quite often ignored, especially in society. So I'll be talking about that in about 20-ish minutes. I'm also on X at unplugged_doc and Instagram at unplugged.md. So follow me on there, and I'm looking forward to interacting with everybody.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure to talk. And then, dude, we got to hook something up for next week and announce it a little earlier. But I hope you have a great evening, dude, and I'll message you here in a little bit. Everybody else, thank you very much for showing up. We'll talk soon.
Take care, guys.